Hello everyone, it's the Graft here for your Tuesday news round. Now I've got loads for you today, including the massive storm battering parts of the Caribbean and the birds saved from extinction in the UK. But first, with the election taking place on Thursday, you might have heard people talking about parties. Wait, guys, not that kind of party. Let me explain. When people talk about elections and parties, they're usually talking about political parties. A political party is a group of politicians with similar views who work together to get their ideas through. Ricky's been looking into some of the parties standing in this election and what they have to say about children and young people.
Let's start with the Conservative Party. This is their symbol. The party's leader is Rishi Sunak, who's also the current Prime Minister. So what's in their plan?
They say they will spend more on Britain's armed forces. They also want to introduce a national service. 18-year-olds would have to join the military for a year or volunteer one weekend every month in the community.
Next up, Labour. This is their symbol, and this is their leader, Keir Starmer.
Labour say they will change the way private schools pay tax and use the money to pay for 6,500 new teachers in state schools in England. They also want to reduce the age people can vote from 18 to 16 years old.
The Liberal Democrats, also known as the Lib Dems, they look a bit like this, and this is their leader. It's Ed Davey, who's been doing quite a bit of this during the election campaign.
The Lib Dems have promised to spend more money on each pupil in England and give the vote to 16 and 17-year-olds. Plaid Cymru,
Which means the Party of Wales in the Welsh language are next. This is their logo, and this is their leader, Rhynab Iorwerth.
Plaid Cymru wants to change the way the Welsh Government gets money to spend on public services and are promising free school meals for all at secondary school in Wales.
The SNP, that's the Scottish National Party, look a bit like this. And this is John Swinney. He's their leader. He's also the First Minister of Scotland. So what's their plan?
They say they want to deliver Scottish independence. They also want an independent Scotland to rejoin a club of countries called the European Union, which the UK left in 2020.
Reform UK look like this, and this is their leader, Nigel Farage.
They have promised to freeze what they describe as non-essential immigration. They say that if they win, it will cost less for parents to send their children to private schools, and this will take pressure off state schools.
Last up, it's the Green Party of England and Wales. This is their logo. They have two leaders, Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey.
They say they will increase money for schools in England and say they will tackle climate change by getting to net zero by 2040.
Thanks for that, Ricky. Next, to the Caribbean, where Hurricane Beryl is causing chaos with wind speeds of more than 120 miles an hour. Thousands are without power or living in temporary shelters after the Category 5 storm caused damage to buildings and flooding in Barbados, Grenada and other Eastern Caribbean islands. The storm is expected to pass near Jamaica on Wednesday. Right, let's take a look at some of the big stories online now. Team GB athletes are being honoured with their own 50p's ahead of the Paris Olympics. Now, the coin feature Olympic and Paralympic athletes and the Union flag. Athletes will get their own coin in their kit bags for good luck. And the famous tennis tournament Wimbledon is underway. The bigger hitters of the sport will be battling to win the men's, women's and wheelchair titles. Now, if you want to know more, we've got a guide over on our website. And finally, a 6-legged robot guide dog are being tested in China, where there's a big shortage of traditional guide dogs. Read more about how the robot dog uses its canine cameras and sensors to help its owners on the website. Right, loads of you have summer holidays on their way, which means we are in peak sports day season. Now, over on the Newsround website, we've been asking what your favourite sports day activity is. So let's start with this one from Lydia, who says, my favourite is the long jump. It's totes easy. Oh, Lydia, are you sure about that? We've also got Little Cheetah too, who says, my favourite is the relay and I come first every single year. Shout out to you. We've got February 423, who's been in touch. Their sports day was last Friday. Now, usually they never win anything, but they came second. Congratulations. Well, thank you so much for getting in touch, guys. And if you haven't had your sports day yet, good luck. Now, bird news now, and ospreys are starting to make a comeback in the UK after becoming virtually extinct in the early 1900s. A single remaining pair helped them bounce back in Scotland, and now their numbers have also started to grow across England and Wales too. A farm in Devon has built nests to try and help the bird of prey, but it's not all going to plan.
Up here in this osprey nest, we've actually got an Egyptian goose who, after 2 days of the nest being up, she found the nest and thought, this is perfect. And so she's called it her home and laid a large clutch of eggs. And it's lovely to see the nest used. She's warming up the nest, ready for the ospreys to arrive soon.
Now, Nina has your happy news this week. We've got some tractor training, pretty cool puppets, highlighting climate change, and the best catch you'll ever see.
Starting Happy News this week with a group of life-sized animal puppets. This is part of an art project that will see them embarking on a 12,000-mile journey from Central Africa to Northern Europe. That's about the same as going from the top of the UK to the bottom and back 13 times. It's all in a bid to highlight climate change and how humans are affecting animals in the wild. Check out this tractor training school where these girls are being taught about all things to do with farming using a tractor. It's part of a scheme in Ireland that aims to get more girls into farming. Skills include learning to drive the tractors, how to attach trailers, and how to take care of machinery. And finally, I had to show you the quickest reaction to catching a ball. Just look at this. Imagine you are stood watching your team bat and then suddenly the ball comes flying at you. Fear not. Baseball player Shohei was able to catch the ball before it hit one of the bat boys who was stood behind him. Now that is some quick reactions. Phew.
Finally, calling all Swifties, how would you like to get up close to the superstar singers' outfits? Well, that's what's happening at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. Tay-Tay's cowboy boots, dresses, awards and other items are part of an exhibition that opens later this month. Amazing. Well, if that's not enough news for you, you can head over to the Newsround website for loads more of your latest news. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.